Good afternoon. I'm here with Gregshapiro, and I'm a big fan of his. He's known for Boom Chicago, and I thought he did an excellent video on the vaccination of Europe, the UK, and the USA, which was not trivial. So, but first, of course, some people might know Greg because he did this thing.
This is a message from the government of the Netherlands.
Dear Mr. President, welcome to this introduction video about...
Yeah, and this was your first start. 70 million times viewed, Greg, which was
so viral. Back when viral was a good thing.
Yeah. So yeah, that's also an interesting. That's also an interesting one. So what is the? I'm amazed because if I look now at your channel with such an incredible success and you've done fantastic things. I mean, I would say everybody go to Gregshapiro, and I will actually put in the link over here. Then you can immediately go there. Why do you only have 15,000 viewers? Because every week you make brilliant videos where you make fun of America, you make fun of the Netherlands, you basically educate people, How the hell is it possible that you only have 15,000 subscribers?
I'm cursed. I don't honestly, it's been growing. Now to be clear, the video that I made for the Netherlands second, that was on the YouTube channel of Zondag met Lubach.
Of course, yeah.
I got a lot of boost from via, but yeah, it's growing. YouTube. I'm actually at this point thinking of starting up a new YouTube channel, and making that and kind of doing it properly with a little bit of hype as well. So we'll see if that can grow.
So we're going to talk about that. But you're of course known from that video. But you're doing Boom Chicago. You've been here for a number of times, and you basically, as an American, make fun of Europe and the Netherlands. And let's just give people an introduction of a 1-minute video, which you made for the Dutch elections and the Dutch government debacle in 1 minute, which is short enough, but basically gives people an idea of how good that is.
Previously on the Dutch government. Hooray! I won the most seats in parliament. Look at me. Now I'm in second place. Oh, I used to be second place. You know the rules. The two biggest parties get to play job interview with all the other parties. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What would you say are your USPs? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, don't answer that because... Oh no! Look at that photo! What, awesome boots? No, it says positie omzicht functie elders. Oh, just because I'm the biggest critic, you want to give me a different job? You want to silence me? Okay, who said that shit about Peter Omzicht? I don't know, Mark Rutte? What? I never remember saying that. I call a vote of no confidence, and now op Rutte. But I still want to be Prime Minister. Really? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Still Prime Minister. Maybe it's time for new leadership? She has a point. If we have a female leader, we can pay her only 70%.
And that was that.
And that was that. In 1 minute, you basically made it very understandable or very confusing, whatever you feel like. But then what I find is so interesting is that you, I thought that was a really nice video and everybody has been working on it. But then you only have 3,000 views, but which is not a lot. But what I thought was really... So I think everybody should subscribe to your channel and have a laugh about Europe. But what is now interesting, you made a very nice video about vaccination, which was not obvious. Let's look at a 1 minute, first 1 minute introduction, and then you go further than only the obvious thing. So that is one thing I'm going to show.
Gregshapiro, United States of Europe, making fun of the EU the American way. The US and the UK are outpacing the rest of the world in vaccinating their populations and getting ready to reopen. Meanwhile, the EU is falling behind in what is literally an arms race. Now, there's good news. The World Health Organization says that COVID-19 is now a vaccine-preventable disease. The bad news? Europe is unacceptably slow. As of this writing, 16.4%. Now, I'm based in the Netherlands, and even my friend, who is a healthcare worker, can't get a jab. I know the Dutch are famous for the Netherlands second video, but these days it's more like,
We know it's going to be the rest of Europe first, but can we just say the Netherlands 27th? Would that be okay?
indeed, when it comes to vaccinations, you have to think of the German poet Heinrich Heine, who once said,
So this was very clear, right? I mean, this is just like okay, you make fun, and where Europe is bad, and UK is fantastic, and USA is number one. So this is very obvious, and normally you would stop there, but you didn't do that this time. You basically went on, and actually you also basically said this is basically what we're going to do. We're not going to stop there. And why was that? Why did you don't want to stop there?
I got a challenge from my wife, actually, and she's Dutch. And she was showing me some other videos that do rather well, actually, that are about 10 minutes long. And I also noticed that Arjen Lubach, the king of explainers with jokes, his show just ended. And there's just so much information, that keeps coming out about the vaccines, and specifically, who's ahead, what does it all mean? And I was really intrigued by a couple of articles, Politico, Guardian, and a couple of long reads as well, that about, it might look like the US is back to being number one, or that the UK is making Brexit look like a huge victory, but
it's different.
It might not be that simple.
Yeah, let's take a look at a couple of seconds further.
On the Belgian roads, because only in Belgium can you find signs that say all directions, other directions. Damn it, Belgium! And now the good news. There are plenty of vaccines on their way to the EU. They've been loaded onto a container ship. And that is the paradox right now of European identity. It was a Dutch company that helped free the enormous container ship in the Suez Canal. Can we get Royal Boskalis to run the vaccination program? Wait, we're not done yet. That was the point where I would normally end a video like this, but let's go a bit deeper, because not only are these vaccine delays an embarrassment for the EU, but they're an endorsement of Brexit. Right? According to these headlines, the European Union's vaccine fiasco exposes a deep crisis of leadership, where Europe went wrong in its vaccine rollout, and why the COVID vaccination campaign is a better advertisement for Brexit than even Brexiteers could have imagined. But wait, there's also Brexit Britain's victory over the EU on COVID vaccination is not what it seems. The EU bloc's joint vaccine strategy, far from being a fiasco, is delivering a better outcome than the UK. Wait, but which is it? Well, first, a little backstory. The EU had no experience in public health before the start of the COVID crisis. The 27 member states had to improvise. This was essential to avoid a repeat of the deadly free-for-all that we saw last March.
Yeah, but here you go. You went one level deeper. You basically said, is it a failure? Is Brexit superior? But then you start to explain that if we would have 27 countries competing for each other, that it would be a big disaster, and that it would not be safe. So why go the different route? Why explain something which is more complicated while you just made fun of the Netherlands, you made fun of Europe, and then you suddenly went one level deeper in complexity? Why did you do that?
Because the topic deserved it, basically, and. Honestly, I already got one comment on YouTube, which was, so now Arjen Lubach is off the air, and Gregshapiro said, hold my beer. So that's pretty much exactly what I was going for. Honestly, I did end on a callback joke, which takes the tone of, maybe the vaccine... AstraZeneca vaccine, is now, with a bad label from, the rating from the.
Oh, it's only for people for above 60 years. Hooray! Yes, I am vaccinated. I basically got my vaccination shot, so with AstraZeneca, and it was fine. I was tired for a day, but I didn't get any blood complete problems. So it's only good for above 60 people. So that's wonderful.
So you know people who've been vaccinated? You are one of those people?
I am vaccinated, yeah.
With two shots already? That's
No. I did one. I'm sorry.
that's
I
great
got
though.
one.
That's great.
So
Okay.
my doctor called me and say, "Hey, I've got another 150 extra shots come in.
Oh,
Do you
that's
want to come
great.
in?" And he called, and an hour later, I basically had my vaccine, and that was basic. I mean, I go like this kind of flexibility we should be able to
Yeah.
do.
No,
But I mean,
yeah, it's bad.
but
Yeah.
was it out of conviction that or was it out of experimentations that you say, hey, complexity is allowed in, like Arjan Lubach, who
Yeah.
basically goes much deeper than
Yeah.
just some cheap shots.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, that was a bit the goal, to see how long I could go. I think it was over 10 minutes at one point, but I cut some things as well. There was a whole extra piece at the end, Vincent, about the leadership style of Ursula von der Leyen, a name that too many people don't even know as the European Commission president. But then this week, Sofagate happened. So I actually cut the pieces about Ursula, and I am going to put them into a new piece about, Sofagate, which, have you heard about this?
No?
Okay. Oh, within the Brussels circles, it's a big commotion. But so Charles Michel, European Council president, and Ursula von der Leyen, the European Commission president, they both went to visit Turkey. They met with Erdogan. One of the big topics was women's rights. So when Turkey put out only 2 chairs for the 2 men,
Oh, really?
the woman standing there going, and she get to sit on the couch.
No way. Okay, yeah, I've
So
seen
this
them
is-
that they went to Turkey, but I didn't know about it.
was
That
a
is too
scandal last
subtle.
week.
That is a scandal. Okay, a
Yeah.
fantastic scandal. But I know Ursula von der Leyen, but I don't know the other guy. So I mean, for that kind of, I think she can speak English the right way. She's well dressed. I mean, I think she's the first inspirational leader of Europe. So I think much better than. What was the previous guy? The Polish guy or something like that? Whatever. I mean,
Donald Tusk was the previous council president.
yeah, Tusk.
And of course,
He made an unbelievable impression on me. Not so that is that is really impressive. So, but so is it? Do you make points? Do you want to make points? Do you want to be right? Do you want to be subtle? Do you want to make both, or do you want to have effect and make as much views as possible? What is your goal?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to have more views, honestly, but that's maybe not the primary goal. I seem to have developed this habit of, trying to use humor to explain complex kind of news stories. And I've seen enough studies that say that humor is actually more effective in helping people retain information and, in fact, to help people share information as well. And I think personally that the European Union in general does not get enough good branding and marketing and storytelling behind their initiatives, and there's enough good news to share.
And I think you're helping us to understand leadership styles in Europe. I mean, it's way too complex. You cut through it and you make it very reasonable. But I thought this time, for the first time, you did in your video, made me realize that I should look at the vaccine problem of Europe, saying, hey, it is the first time we do anything with healthcare. 27 countries doing Brexit would not be Brexit strategies, and basically buying everything for themselves is not a good idea.
Yeah.
And also Europe has been very open, has exported many vaccines to all over the world, while Britain just basically was very egoistic and locked it up for themselves, and did also very effective contract negotiations, but did not. So that is a solution for the UK, but it's not a solution for Europe. So you really helped me to advance my thinking, and I would say do that more often.
Music
I
to
think,
me.
and I think one thing I also want to basically show people, you're fantastic in basically helping us to understand America. I mean, that's of course much easier, but I just want to show you how you do Joe Biden, because I thought that was also really worth
They deserve by making fun of them on a regular basis. Now, some of you may know me from this video about the little Netherlands. It was so great, totally the best. The Netherlands second. It went so viral back when viral was a good thing. And that is a review of how to do a presidential impression. With Trump It was all about the best, bigly, the most best, I think. And then going back, you had Obama, Barack Obama, who liked to pause so much that his name is Barack, like a frog. And don't forget, George W. Bush said things like, it's getting hard these days for a man to put food on his family.
Always family.
We need to ask ourselves, is our children learning? And the French don't even have a word for entrepreneur. And before that was Bill Clinton. I feel your pain. That's not the only thing I'm feeling. But your pain, I feel your pain. Joe Biden picks up where Bill Clinton left off. Biden is like, I feel your pain. I'm feeling pain right now. I'm feeling so much pain, like a big black hole in the middle of your chest. Make me feel like you can't go on. Half of America's like, hey, Joe, I'm not feeling that much pain. But Joe has. He's lost loved ones, and yet he's learned how to survive. Joe Biden is like America's grief counselor. And America, if you think you don't need that right now, then maybe you are stuck in the first stage of grief. For years, Democrats have been the party of facts and figures. Facts and figures win elections. That's how to win hearts and minds. Except, with Biden, it's such a pleasant change to see him cruising to victory on a campaign of pure emotion, even if that emotion is pain. There's nothing wrong with feeling pain. There we go.
Yeah, so that was, I thought that was beautiful. Five different presidents together. So you're really good at that. That how do you what do you think? How do you think Biden is doing at the moment?
Great, super great. In fact, I'll paraphrase the end of that video, which is that Biden keeps going to this. We knew him as like a vice president, as clumsy Uncle Joe, and now he's touchy-feely Grandpa Joe, which is, I think, just so much more effective. He keeps oozing human empathy, and actually, the Republicans don't even know how to reply because they don't understand human empathy. And whatever he's doing, it seems to be working. I loved it that at the press conference, it also seems like Biden is getting much better political advice. They kept asking him, did you see the press conference, the first one he did? What about people who say that you're not uniting America? What about these Republicans who say that you're not trying to be bipartisan? And that is when Joe Biden actually did something very clever politically. He said, which Republicans do you mean? Do you mean elected Republicans or voting Republicans? Because if you look at the voting Republicans, they love what I'm doing, and it's true according to the poll numbers. And it's just like he introduces a new weapon, and you can tell he's just going to keep hitting them over and over with it because it's super effective. His rescue plan, hugely effective. The COVID plan is very effective, and now the infrastructure bill, his proposal, is very popular. So
yeah,
anyway.
it is very popular. So he knows how to basically get everybody or all the voters introduced or enthusiastic. But the Republicans in the Senate are not so much dead against, like with Obama or like with Hillary. I mean, he is some kind. He's more likable because of his ability to feel the pain.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, he's Teflon because he actually, instead of deflecting everything, he absorbs it.
Yeah. He has this huge hole which basically gets it. Okay, Greg, you've been busy. We also had videos about books you write and about shows you do. And so, what is your? I think you will. I think it's actually. We have here in the command our Prime Minister, Mark Rutte, seems to have learned how to lie from Bill Clinton or Donald Trump. I mean, but actually, Bill Clinton got in trouble with a lie. Donald Trump showed that if you lie enough, nobody cares. It's really, it's really interesting. But it's true, Klaas. That was, but we are still that it's very special. You don't lie if you get caught lying, like with Bill Clinton. So we're about 18 years behind or something like that. What are the books? Which books? What's your last book you showed
This
us?
is the American Netherlander, 25 years of expat tales. And I'm celebrating 25 years. So I've actually combined my first two titles and added some new material about how much the Netherlands has changed in the past 25 years. So it was really fun to write. I love how it's a bit of a bigger format and the pages are not. Yeah, I love how it came out, which is just a really nice feeling.
Yeah, let's get the link. Let's get the link to your book.
Okay.
Let's get that also here in there. Hey, but while you do it, what's you are of course based in the Netherlands, but your message is also for everybody in Europe. How are you doing in terms of experiences and enthusiasm which you generate in other countries of Europe, like in Brussels?
It's actually the UK is sort of the second biggest audience at this point. Brexit was a big deal, and English speaking it helps. Brussels and Belgium, I believe, next, and making inroads into Germany as well. I've appeared, or at least my voice has appeared on, the ZDF shows from Heute Show or Neo Magazine Royale, and personally, I'd like to do more in France as well. I know comedians who are there, and the goal would be to start up a new YouTube channel that is more of a late night comedy show, for the EU. And then instead of having a correspondent, maybe on location in New York City or down the block, whatever, then you have someone calling in from Paris, Berlin, Brussels, but then also, Sofia in Bulgaria, maybe Malta, we never hear from Estonia. So there are comedians there too.
And what I mean, we have now seen, of course, your theater, Boom Chicago, has closed down, so it's going to be open.
Sorry.
But you've also seen there's a lot of experience, there's a lot of interest in online stuff. Have you already tried doing online live events?
Boom Chicago is ready to reopen, as soon as it is safe and possible to do that, and for live audiences. But indeed, a year ago, it was. Oh, that's true. It was like 1 year ago exactly that Boom Chicago teamed up with We Are Live and did a streaming stand-up comedy special spread out over 3 nights. And that's my website there.
Yeah.
You can see that corporate shows are prominently displayed. That's how I make my money.
That's how you make money, huh? Yeah. And I think, you are also fantastic. I've tried you also on a webinar where we basically had Greg coming. And of course, if you want to have 10 minutes of a press conference of Biden or basically making fun of the Netherlands, you are a wonderful piece of webinar content, which I would very much recommend for anything corporate. Spice up the webinars, give people also a little bit of fun, a little bit of reflection, and you basically make all kinds of jokes on demand. So you're really good at that.
It doesn't need to be boring.
Hey, it doesn't need to be boring. So that's also what you've been doing, to do things online. But it has not... I think for you, an European show, you need a partner where you can have a European show with a channel which basically is everywhere, and to make fun of that. Is there already a channel which you're looking forward to work together with? Is there a European channel?
Yeah, there should be. And I know there are offices, and I have yet to do my proper homework, and I've got some contacts in Brussels, but there are enough opportunities to scale up. And it's still quiet enough now. So hopefully I'll have some time to study that a little bit. If you know anybody, let me know.
Yeah, if people know somebody in Europe which can help, I'll basically send this to Timmermans.
Oh, great!
He would be a good candidate. Are you related to Ben Shapiro?
Ben Shapiro, he's like the ugly black sheep of the family. We don't talk to him. Although he gets more views.
He's brilliant. He's a brilliant guy. If you want to know right wing, if you want to have an intelligent right-wing thing. He has a great show, and he has millions of followers.
Yeah, he's a
and
good debater. He's better
he's
than
not mean. He's not mean. He's not. I mean, from the right wing, he is actually a civilized. He's a civilized person who works on intelligence. So but his family.
No. I mean, Shapiro as a name goes all the way back to 13th century Germany, I believe, and the German town of Speyer. So I'm told. But
Okay.
in America, there are too many Shapiros, actually.
Okay, what's the biggest difference between the Dutch in America and in the Netherlands? Do you have any views on that?
I'll go with just the Dutch directness. That's it'll be a different answer if you ask me 10 minutes later. But right now, I was actually just hosting a conference call for somebody's birthday back in the United States, and the audience was all American. I could tell that I have become more Dutch direct, and maybe I'm more okay with human sexuality. I was making jokes that were a little too spicy for the American audience, and over here that is normal. So I had a little bit of culture shock there.
And how are the Dutch doing in America? Do you have any idea how good we are doing with? I mean, I lived 5 years in America, and of course they thought I was a little special. I basically was also very direct, and I was very extroverted. Well, the extrovert part is absolutely normal in America, but maybe the directness. What do you see them? Have you been in contact with Dutch people in America and see how they function there?
Yes, actually. It's always a treat for me to see. Well, I mean, if you bump into other expats in the Netherlands, American expats, and then the way we all deal with our homeland is like, but to see that same thing with, Dutch people in New York that look back at the Netherlands and think like, they think they know everything. And, it's so kleinschalig, it's everything's so small scale there. It's great to be in America. And, sure, there's no social safety net, but, if you want to.
Well, I think the social safety net in America is at the moment alive and kicking. You get checks for thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, my wife is getting now checks from America, first from Donald Trump and now from and the money keeps floating in, and she goes like, wow, this is really, I've never been in that situation before. So
the era of big government is over.
Yeah, that's totally
big
true.
Government is back, baby.
Yeah. So anyway, Greg, nice talking to you. And I would recommend everybody, if you have a webinar, get Greg involved. It's on gregshapiro.com. And on the other hand, basically, have fun. And I think you should have a European show. So if anybody listened to that, good luck. Try contact him because he's really good. Thank you very much, Greg, for that video on vaccine and helping me to